This is a very gentle yoga practice that is designed for your premenstrual and bleed phases. This practice begins with a standing flow where we will just invite some circulation, some heat, some energy through the body before shifting down to the mat for some very deep hip opening postures, very grounding postures to support cultivating intention for the cycle that is ahead. So this time when our hormones are dipping at the end of the cycle, so in the premenstrual days, we find lots of different energetic shifts happening. We are shedding physically. We're preparing the body to let go and to release. And so we want to mirror that in our practice through creating space for your intentions, creating space for you to sort of visualize what's coming ahead in the next cycle so that you can chart that path forward and you can be very conscious in the way that you approach and that you enter the next cycle. So this one doesn't require any equipment at all. It's short and sweet. It's one where I invite you not to really push, but just to kind of dial back and allow your body to be in these postures without having to force anything. So really just letting yourself find the shape that feels best in your body on this day. So let's get started. Let's begin our practice together today in a comfortable standing position. We're going to be moving through some upright postures just to get circulation moving before we come down to the mat for some more grounding, soothing postures to open the hips and to settle your energetic body. So here we're just kind of checking in. Let your spine be stacked. So start at the feet and just kind of move forward and back, side to side until you feel that state of inner equilibrium. Start to shift your hips so that they rest comfortably over the ankles, slight bend in the knees, and then travel up the spine. Let your heart be stacked directly over the hips, shoulders resting comfortably. Maybe bring a hand to heart, hand to belly. Close your eyes softly. Start to connect to your breath in and out through the nose, if you can, inviting it to become a little bit deeper. Let it make some sound, again, without force, just that gentle invitation to take up more space inside your body with every inhale and to clear more space with every exhale. Start to hear in this opening body scan, plant any seeds of intention for what you want to create through your movement practice. What do you want to walk away with, be it an energetic shift or a certain energetic quality, or even expanding beyond the container of this practice? What is it that you want to create with the upcoming cycle? What is possible when you start to plant the seed now of that intention? Create a vision for it, give it life. What might it feel like if it inhabits your body? With that intention planted, gently release your hands, blink your eyes open if they are closed. Inhale, reach the arms out wide and up. Find opposite elbows here. Slide the upper arm bones back behind you. Press down evenly through both feet. Lift up and over to the left. Lengthen evenly through both sides of the waist. Come back up through center. So we're just waking up a sleepy spine here. Exhale to the other side. Expanding, lengthening, creating space here. Inhale, come back up through center. Release the hands on the exhale. This time, interlace your fingers behind you, Yoga Mudra. So we interlace all 10 fingers and then bring the heels of the hands together. Stretch through the chest, but gently pull the lower ribs in. Lift up through the heart. Big inhale here. And then as you exhale, generous bend in the knees, fold, bring heart, belly, chest to your thighs. Relax the head and neck at the bottom. Keep that very deep bend in the knees. Maybe sway side to side, opening the arms from one side to the other. Release the hands on an inhale, halfway lift your spine, stretch from crown to tail. On the exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back into plank position. Hug the low ribs and hip points together. Stretch your heart forward. Create some awareness, some engagement in the belly. Touch your knees down, big inhale. And as you exhale, send your elbows straight back as you lower the belly all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes, anchor hip bones to the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift only your heart. Cobra pose, maybe let the hands suspend as you draw the elbows back behind you. On your exhale, press into the hands. Shift your weight back to downward facing dog. Enjoy a breath or two here, just checking in for your first downward dog. Pedal out the feet, spread the toes and the fingertips. Wrap the inner upper arm bones forward in space toward the top of your mat, and then soften heart, belly, chest toward your thighs. Mirror that same action in the upper thigh bones. Wrap them back towards the back of your mat. And then soften the belly toward the upper thighs. Sway your hips side to side here. Just a breath or two. And then step the feet closer together. Let your left foot stay planted. Inhale, right leg rises. Feel some expansion in the hips. Maybe open the hip if that feels called for you today. Squaring the shoulders. Inhale back through center. And as you exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. Touch your back knee down. Untuck the toes if you wish. Press that back shin firmly into the mat to support your balance as you reach the arms up. Big inhale breath, lengthen up and out of the hips. And then as you exhale, draw your intention down as if you're bringing it into your heart. Bring your thumbs toward your chest. Lift your heart into the shape of your hands. Again, further kind of cultivating that intention in your heart space here. Big breath in. And then as you slowly exhale, release it back out into the world. Exhale, reach. You can separate the fingertips, separate the hands. And as you exhale, next breath out, take your hands down to frame your foot. Maybe rock the hips forward and back just a touch. We're just awakening the body here to prepare us for some deeper mat-bound postures at the end of the practice. As you're ready, step back into plank. Right foot joins the left. Here you have the option for keeping the knees up if you wish, or take them down if that feels better. Hug the elbows into your sides. Keep the shoulders buoyant as you lower all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes. Keep hip points to the tops of the feet grounded. This time, hands stay planted in cobra. So we lift the heart, but the hips stay grounded, tops of the thighs grounded. Reach back to activate your legs. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Stay here just for a breath to reset. And as you're ready, step the feet closer together. Inhale, left leg rises. Option to open the hip if that feels good. And as you exhale, step your left foot through between your hands. Back knee touches down. Inhale, rise. Press through the back shin to stabilize as you stretch up and out. Again, gathering your intention, bringing the palms to touch. Let that intention settle at your heart with the shape of your hands. So again, mirroring that inner intention with the shape of your body here. Lift your heart out and up into your hands. And then with your next exhale, release that intention back out. Separate the hands, let the arms reach and extend. Take a big breath in. And with your slow breath out, hands touch down. Untuck the toes, lift your back knee. Inhale to plank. As you exhale, lower down all the way to the belly. Make sure that the shoulders are floating so they're not dipping down. This time, option to build to upward dog. So we'll start from the ground up. Let your fingertips be slightly behind your shoulders. We're going to drag the hands back to slide the hips forward as we lift. In upward dog, you want your hips, thighs, knees, shins off the mat. Shoulders are directly over the wrists, and we broaden the thumbs apart to create that expansion across the chest. If it feels good, you can start to send your gaze slightly up. Activate your legs to lengthen the low spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. We're just warming the body, circulating energy here. Inhale, right leg rises. Option to open the hip. Again, you need not find your fullest expression in any of these postures. Just let them be to create more blood flow. Exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. So again, we're not forcing, we're just inviting more flow, more fluidity into your body. Back heel turns flat in preparation for warrior one. Back toes around 45 degrees. Keep that deep bend in the front knee. Inhale, reach up, warrior one. Big breath in. Feel that separation between the thigh bones and encourage your left hip toward that forward position. It may not be square, that's okay. On your exhale, open cactus arms, lift your heart, again, as if you're sending that intention out so that it may become your reality, that it may become manifest. Come back up through your upright spine, wrap your left arm under. So again, gathering all of that energy, crossing at the elbows, wrap into eagle arms. If eagle arms is too much, you can always take opposite shoulders here and just feel that embrace, that gathering of energy to the center. Big inhale breath. As you exhale, shift your weight slightly forward. So we come into leaning warrior one. Move on to the toes of your back foot. Find your balance. And let's bring the left knee into chest now. Cross left leg over right for eagle legs. You can wrap your left foot around the right calf or keep the left toes on the mat as a kickstand. See if you can bend a little more deeply into the right knee. Let your shoulders rest directly over the hips. That generally means bringing the spine back into that upright position. Big breath here. As you exhale, release the cross of the legs. Send your arms and left leg back, airplane. Find that place in space where your spine is horizontal, reaching from crown to tiptoes. And then slowly, hands touch down. Lower the left toes behind you, come into your lunge. Big breath in. Let's step back into high plank. Option for the transition straight from chaturanga to your upward dog, or take the time on your belly to reset. So we shift the weight slightly forward, bend your elbows back, keep the heart floating. Come halfway down where shoulders are level with the elbows. Roll over your toes, either upward dog or cobra. Find your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath here to reset. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, left leg rises. Always the option to open that hip. And as you exhale, step your left foot through between your hands. Set the feet up for warrior one. So back heel turns flat, back toes at 45 degrees. Bend deeply into that front knee. As you're ready, when you feel stability in the lower body, reach up. Open the heart by taking the arms into that cactus shape. Again, welcoming all of your intention for the upcoming cycle. And then start to gather it in. Wrap your right arm under left. Find eagle arms, like you're pulling all of that intention back into your body. Sort of synthesizing anything that's compartmentalized, any parts of yourself that need to be integrated, bringing them together here. On your next exhale, gently start to lean the body forward. Really press through that back foot and then transition to your back toes. Let's draw the right knee into chest now, coming into our standing balance first, and then crossing right leg over left for eagle legs. Find this inner energy, so we're wrapping the limbs around the midline to create that powerful force inside. We're complementing that invitation of our physiology to pull awareness inward. Let the shoulders lift directly over the hips, bend more deeply into the left knee, and then slowly release the right leg, send arms and right leg back, airplane pose. Feel that buoyancy in the spine as you work to square the hips, square the shoulders. Feel the strength in the rivers of the spine that keep you in this beautiful extended position. Let the hands touch down, right toes follow. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower down to your chaturanga. So it might be halfway down or it might be slightly higher. Roll over the toes, maybe extending the arms for your back bend in cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We have one more standing wave before we start to settle into our mat work. So as you're ready, inhale, right leg rises. Open that hip, find the expansion. And on your exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. We're progressing from warrior one now to warrior two. So the back heel turns flat. Align your feet such that the front heel aligns with the center of your back arch. Wrap the right sitting bone underneath your body in space and slowly rise in warrior two. feel when the arms are in that nice horizontal position. See if you can just intuit when they are level. So feel that proprioception come alive. And then as you inhale, reverse warrior, bring your left hand to your heart, right arm reaches up and back. We'll reverse that now, coming into side bend. So right hand to heart, left arm overhead. A few rounds of breath like that. Inhale, left hand to the heart, reach out and up. And as if pulling your intention into your body, switch. Bring your right hand to your heart, left arm overhead. One more round like this. Inhale, gather your intention, reach out. And exhale, flow. Bring the right hand to the heart, left arm overhead. Excellent work. Come back through center, warrior two. Big inhale. And exhale, take the hands to frame the foot. Start to come onto your back toes. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Maybe all the way to the floor this time. Inhaling through cobra. Lots of back bends available here, so long as they feel supportive in your spine. Exhale, downward dog. Pedal out the feet for a breath. And as you're ready, left side, inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step that left foot through between your hands. Intentionally, mindfully set up the feet. Your foundation is where your balance comes from. Wrap the left sitting bone underneath your body. Start to lift the left hip creases off the left thigh as you rise up. Warrior two. See if you can arrange your hips directly underneath your shoulders over your hips, and then telescope the rib cage out of the pelvis as you sink the hips down. We'll have that same flow now as you inhale, left arm overhead, right hand to heart, reach back, reverse warrior. And then we exchange, so left hand to the heart, right arm overhead. This suspension of the upper body here, engaging the rivers of the spine. Inhale and exhale. Let's take one more round like this. See if you can find a little bit more range of motion in that side bend. Inhale. And exhale. Feel the flow through your arms. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Let the arms float out. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your foot. Come onto the back toes. Step back into plank, big breath in. And as you exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Roll over your toes. Inhale finds the back bend. And exhale takes you to downward facing dog. Enjoy a breath or two here. Pedal out the feet. Now we have the body awakened. We have pathways open. And we're going to settle into some mat-bound work. So some work to open the hips and ground the energetic body. So as you're ready, send your right leg up and back. On the exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. Walk your hands slightly forward. Heel toe your right foot over to the left. Come onto the knife edge of that foot. Really press through the knife edge. Then you're going to aim your right knee toward your right hand. Let the shin be parallel. And then we'll slowly start to lower the hips into position. This might be a lot of sensation. If it's too much, you can tuck your back knee in so that you have both knees bent. Otherwise, we're working just to find the opening, the entry point to pigeon pose here. So back toes stay tucked under to help keep your knee facing down to the ground. Square the shoulders here. Draw your right hip crease back. Left hip moves forward. You can stay upright for a breath. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly start to melt in. So take this in stages. Maybe you start with your forearms on the mat, or even a pillow or a surface to elevate that further. Again, if this is too much, you can always bring the back knee in, or you can slide your right ankle closer to your sitting bone. So kind of forgiving a little bit of that 90-degree bend to decrease the angle. You can untuck your toes now so long as your back knee stays connected to the earth. And here, deepen the breath. Inhale. So I used to hear in my yoga classes, teachers say, breathe into your hips. And My mechanical brain had trouble with that one, but it's true that when you inhale so deeply that the diaphragm is allowed to descend in the torso, there is some expansion that happens along around in the area of the hips in the region of the pelvic floor. So try that here. Inhale so deeply that you feel that expansion into the low belly, that invitation for more space in the hips. If you like, you can start to lower a little bit more deeply into this posture, releasing forehead to pillowed hands. We'll be here about 5 breaths more, so really enjoying everything that this deep hip opener has to offer. And being mindful, being open to whatever might rise to the surface as a result. So we store emotional energy, emotional information in our tissues, and when we allow the body to move through these deeper hip openers, we are giving that energy an exit strategy. So just be gentle with anything that arises, anything that bubbles to the surface, that you might metabolize it and give it a way to dissolve. Only when you're ready, slowly start to lift back up onto the hands. We're going to invite the back leg forward this time. Step your left foot to the outside of right knee. We'll start to reach the right arm skyward here. And then wrap your right arm around the left thigh. Very gentle twist here. So we just want to feel that massage of the abdominal organs. Nothing too strenuous or too extreme. Just a little bit of welcome pressure. Maybe sending your gaze over your left shoulder, letting the hip bones stay firmly planted. Breathing into the back of the heart as you twist. Come back through center, release the twist, stack your right knee on top of left here. And we'll gently fold any amount, doesn't have to be a lot to feel this one working. Flex the feet here. You might move the ankles slightly further from the hips or slightly closer in. And then slowly start to lift back up. Take your fingertips behind you. Uncross the legs, bring the feet out in front. Press into the hands, lift the hips for upward table. So really root down through the heels of the hands here. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Maybe you take the head back. And then as you're ready, hips touch down. We're going to reverse the direction of these seated postures now. So tuck your left foot underneath you, bend the left knee, and we'll stack the right knee on top for Gomukhasana or cow face pose. Again, here, acknowledge any difference you feel from one side to the other. Folding forward a little or a lot. Work to draw the hip creases back in space. Feel that nice stretch in the outer hips. And then we'll slowly rise up, step your right foot to the outside of left knee. Wrap your left arm around the right thigh, maybe join the hands, and send your gaze over your right shoulder. And with your breath, inhaling to inflate the belly, exhaling to create some space and massage the abdominal organs, your low belly, your low back here, just feeling a very receptive twist. So there's no force, there's no push. And then coming back through center now. We'll shift into pigeon pose on the second side. So we'll guide that right leg back behind you. Tuck the toes so that you encourage the right knee to dial down. You can heel toe your left foot closer to that 90-degree bend, or again, bring that heel slightly closer to the body if that feels better. Moving into pigeon pose, again, step by step. So not rushing into our deepest expression, but being very gentle as we slowly lower maybe forearms and eventually with the head to the earth. See if you can start to anchor the top of the right thigh down into the mat. And at the same time, encourage your left hip crease back in space. So we're sort of working to level the pelvis in the presence of this deep hip opening. Breathing all the while here, releasing a little bit of control on the breath, but just inviting it to be more fluid, taking out the hard edges. With every exhale, softening perhaps a little bit deeper into the posture. If it's ready, if it's available to you, you can bring your forehead down, pillow your head on your hands. Maybe relax the back toes if they aren't already. Find that little bit of pulsation in the pelvis, maybe rocking side to side. I know for myself that kind of just holding a deep stretch can be more challenging than when we add just that little bit of micro movement, that little bit of pulsation to kind of soothe and soften the intensity. Be here about 5 more breaths in and out through the nose. Again, recalling your intention as you create space and welcome anything that is releasing, that is rising to the surface. And then only when you're ready, we will come back up onto the hands. Start to gently tuck your back toes under. We want to keep both sides even and symmetrical here. So we'll send the left leg up and back, balancing it out, coming out the way we came in with the right leg, and release left foot to the right. Step your feet a little bit wider now, maybe hips width distance. Let the knees touch down. Bring your big toes together, knees wide. Soften into a child's pose. Maybe pillow your hands or keep your arms outstretched. Let your hips become very, very heavy. Feel that connection between hips and heels. Soften the belly here. And allow the shoulders to receive that nice stretch. And we'll slowly start to come forward onto the belly. Keep your forearms on the mat. Find Sphinx pose here. Just rock the sacrum side to side, so that gentle sway from side to side. Bend your knees, windshield wiper the shins back and forth. Just looking to free the low back here, while also creating a little bit of gentle pressure in the low abdomen, encouraging circulation there, promoting the healthiest of flow. Now from here, we'll slide the left knee out to the side. So you've got a 90-degree bend in that left knee. And then we'll reach the right arm forward, wrap your left arm under, bring your left ear towards the mat. So it's this wheel of life pose in a downward facing position. This is a great one to unlock the lower back if you feel any tension or pain there. And just allowing the head and neck to rest. Slowly release the twist in the upper body. You can come onto forearms for a moment. Just stretch up and out through the heart. Feel that length now in the right hip flexor, right psoas. So really anchor the right thigh to the mat and then energetically drag your forearms back toward the hips until you feel like taffy, like you're just lengthening the tissues on the right side. Then we'll exchange sides here. So left leg joins the right knee comes out to the side. Settle in first and then stretch your left arm out and forward. Wrap your right arm under. Bring the right ear to the mat. Feeling this dynamic twist here. Again, not a forceful twist, but one where we get to shift into receiving mode. Feel the weight of your body really anchored and being grounded into your mat. A few more deep breaths here. And we'll slowly come up into Sphinx arms once again. So anchor the back thigh down into the mat. Drag your forearms energetically back as you lengthen up and out from that left hip crease. So really feeling the stretch in the psoas, side waist. And then we'll return the legs back to outstretched. We have the option here for a downward facing Shavasana, which I will demonstrate. But if it's uncomfortable for you at all, please feel free to roll to your side or to your back for a few final moments of relaxation. You might bring an ear to the mat and let your arms rest by your sides. And wherever you are, let the hips sway gently side to side. Again, just giving that little bit of an exit for any residual activity, any residual energy that needs to come out. And then gradually give that gentle movement over to stillness as you rest. We'll be in this Shavasana resting posture for 1 to 2 minutes here. And as you close your eyes, start to feel the inner gravity so your awareness draws deeply inside. And be gentle if your mind does begin to wander. And just encourage it back into your body by noticing any sensation. And bring your awareness back to now by simply observing the body, observing the breath, observing where you feel the floor underneath you. Give yourself permission to be here fully. I'm releasing more control over the breath now, letting it flow naturally. And just invite yourself to rest. Only when you're ready. And bring movement back into your fingers and your toes. Make peaceful fists and let them go. Sway your hips, legs, knees, side to side. And then wherever you are, either on your back or your belly, just start to roll to one side. And being very gentle with the transition, giving yourself time. And then slowly, in your own way, come up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And we'll close our practice much in the same way that we began, with one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Let your eyes close if that feels good. Maybe bow your gaze inward. Enjoy a few rounds of breath here, just checking in with your body. Really starting to attune to anything that has shifted, anything that has changed in your inner landscape. Make the conscious choice now what you wish to carry with you off your mat and out of your practice. And what, if anything, you would like to leave here, leave behind, let dissolve and evaporate. Gently blink your eyes open. I want to take this moment to thank you so much for joining me for this practice, for breathing, and for creating this space for cyclical self-care, for showing up for yourself, and for letting your body be moved.